Hello and welcome to the second song description or revelation or whatever you want to call it from the Digital Busking 2 sessions, which is going to be released very, very soon. So I thought it'd be interesting to give you a little bit of an insight to the background of some of these songs that are on this disc. So one of the songs that seemed to get lost in the midst of time, or mists of time, is Sweet Love Sedation, which was obviously, that was on the Young Gods album. And again, it's kind of a bit of a weird story about that, really, because I can remember writing that song or coming up with the title and the idea and going around to Bruce's house in Scarborough, and we were messing around with the idea way back. I mean, probably the origins of it sort of emerged, I would say, sometime around the end of the Don't Pray For Me recording sessions, because we were all still living up in Scarborough, and you know, and I remember that we had this kind of conversation and we sort of messed around with the idea. I just really like the title. I think that's a big part of my songwriting need, is to come up with a title that kind of immediately pops, what does that mean? Gives the sort of listener or someone who's observing the making of the record or anticipating the making of an album, or just picking up an album and reading the song titles. What does that mean? That's, and doesn't that always have to be completely explained or explainable, But I think, we were very influenced by the Aerosmith period, the Pump and the Permanent Vacation era. And we'd been over working with Jim Vallance for the Young Gods album. And I remember we were coming back on the plane and discussing what songs we needed and what we were missing and all the rest of it. And I have a sort of vague recollection of thinking, I wonder about that song, Sweet Love Sedation. And I know that the rest of the guys weren't particularly enamoured by the idea, but when we started working on the recording in earnest with Jimbo Barton, we were doing some pre-production with him, we were discussing it. He really liked it, because I think we'd done a demo of it and all the rest of it, like we normally do. And I think he was actually one of the main instigators of us carrying on with the song, And it is a bit of an odd one. It sort of straddled the world of In Excess, I always used to think, in combination with a bit of Aerosmith and and that kind of complex arrangement and stuff, And it's like I explained with the Hard Times discussion on the last video. I think sometimes you can kind of talk yourself out of using songs, or talk yourself out of the potency of things. And I know that we were trying to make a more full-blooded rock record and also a more complex record, and something that had a lot more layers with the Young Gods record. And so I think I remember the conversations were, it's a bit lightweight, it's and these kinds of conversations. And I think what that did was it just sort of basically made us, I don't have a downer on it type of thing. But listening back to it, interestingly, I think it's a really cool. The chord progression's great, and I really love the way that the verse works with the keyboards and all the rest of it. I mean, it's a simple lyric. The idea of it obviously is, you have your love or your partner, or whatever you want to call it, as your sedative, as your way of getting a fix sort of thing. So it's a kind of very simple love-orientated relationship thing, but I just really like the title, and I really like the idea of the way that the chords worked, and how it reacted with the song. And I do remember that it was one of the songs that Kerrang picked out, I think, or one of the magazines picked out in their review of saying that it was a great tune sort of thing. And so, you just don't know. I mean, I'm just glad that we included it on the record anyway. But no, I enjoyed working on it for the Digital Busking sessions. I'm really chuffed that I had a chance to play it live, probably for the first time ever.
Somebody better call me a doctor,